Sammy Hagar walked into Ozzy's farewell expecting history, but left with a story of being shut out. Sammy Hagar recently opened up about an incident that took him entirely by surprise during what was billed as Ozzy Osbourne's last live performance. Hagar, who is referred to by fans worldwide as the Red Rocker, has established a legendary reputation as a result of his solo work, Van Halen years, and status as a classic rock icon. In his most recent disclosure, however, Hagar acknowledged that he felt excluded and disregarded at an occasion that ought to have honored not simply Ozzy's extraordinary career, but also the greater family of rock, music's greatest artists. The occasion itself had been promoted as a momentous send-off. Ozzy has been one of the most well-known and influential names in heavy music for many years. Generations of musicians are still inspired by the legacy that the so-called Prince of Darkness left behind, from his revolutionary work with Black Sabbath to his enormously successful solo career. Expecting to see a performance that would truly mark the end of an era, fans crowded the venue. The anticipation in the crowd was tremendous. As musicians lined up to praise Ozzy's extraordinary trip, Sammy Hagar, who had been invited and anticipated to attend, saw the evening as the ideal chance to pay tribute to a peer he looked up to. Numerous rock titans have performed with Hagar, and over the years, his path has frequently intersected with other well-known figures who contributed to the sound of a certain era. It felt right to be a part of Ozzy's farewell show. But as the tributes and acts on the evening's schedule developed, Hagar became aware that his name would not be among those in the spotlight. He was excluded from the formal program and instead found himself on the sidelines, watching while others participated in the tribute and performed. Later, Hagar said he was taken aback by the choice. The exclusion felt more like a major snub than a minor oversight to someone who has dedicated his life to music and who has always appreciated the accomplishments of his contemporaries. Speaking candidly, he described the agony of being prepared to pay tribute to a fellow legend, but lacking the necessary platform. He made it apparent that the event's organizers had lost a chance to add even more significance to the evening. Even though he refrained from directly blaming Ozzy, he conveyed his adoration for Ozzy and his unwavering regard for the guy and his profession. Hagar made it apparent that his annoyance had nothing to do with rivalry or jealousy. Rather, it was about not being able to join other musicians who admired the same person as him in celebrating someone he genuinely looked up to. According to him, the evening ought to have been about solidarity, acknowledgement, and honoring the ties that bind the musicians that permanently altered the landscape of rock music. Supporters quickly expressed sympathy for Hagar's plight. Many noted that, considering his prominence and the part he had in influencing rock history at the same time as Ozzy, his absence from the stage looked odd. These two men are part of a generation of musicians who made the 1970s and 1980s one of the most thrilling musical eras. Their combined efforts paved the path for upcoming musicians. The decision to exclude Hagar from the tribute caused some fans to wonder if the lineup was affected by personal choices or backstage politics. The circumstance also draws attention to the music industry's frequently hidden dynamics. Fans witness the splendor and thrill of the stage, but the real world can be far more complex. Personal relationships, business interests, and occasionally even rivalries influence decisions regarding who gets to perform, who is recognized, and who is excluded. Even the most accomplished musicians, with decades of accomplishments under their belts, may experience the pain of being ignored, as Hagar's revelation reminds us. Despite his disappointment, Hagar has chosen not to dwell on bitterness. He has instead used the occasion to consider the importance of honesty and his career. His willingness to speak openly about how he felt is part of what has made him so relatable to fans over the years. He has never shied away from telling the truth, whether it's about his experiences in the music industry, his relationships with other artists, or his own triumphs and struggles. That authenticity continues to strengthen his connection with audiences worldwide. As for Ozzy, the night still stood as a historic farewell. His performance, though emotional, marked the closing of a chapter in rock's long history. For those who were there, it was unforgettable, a moment to witness the last bow of one of music's most charismatic frontmen. But for Hagar, the evening will always carry a bittersweet edge, a memory of how even in moments designed to bring people together, not everyone is given the place they deserve. The conversation sparked by Hagar's words has continued among fans and insiders alike. Should every legend be recognized at such milestones, or is it inevitable that some voices will be left unheard? The debate underscores how much these events mean not only to the artists, but also to the fans who see them as once-in-a-lifetime celebrations. In the end, Sammy Hagar's candid account doesn't take away from Ozzy's farewell. Instead, it adds another dimension to the story. It shows how even legends can feel vulnerable, how recognition matters, and how the rock community, for all its power and glory, still runs on human emotions. For fans, it is a reminder that behind the spectacle of the stage, the artists they admire are still people, carrying the same hopes, disappointments, and need for acknowledgement as anyone else.